It's a very nice day on June 1st, 2021. Wowzers, it's really nice. It's looking pretty good. I'm going to the West 65th and Lorain Rapid Station. I am currently on Franklin and West 70 something, 79th, maybe? Let's check this out. Let's see what this street says. We're almost to this street, but I'm going to the West 65th and Lorain Rapid Station in Cleveland, Ohio. There's a reason. There's a specific poem by a David Cornicelli. It's one of my favorite poems, if not my favorite poem ever. And I think it's worth a read. I can't find it anywhere online whatsoever. I'm looking to find it online, but I can't find it anywhere. So I'm gonna find it in person like I did the one time. And this is, yep, West 79th, right there. West 79th in Franklin. And we're taking a trip. I brought my guitar just in case there's some passerbys who would like a little something. So we'll see what happens here in a second. Making my trip now. Peace. We are now at West 69th in Franklin. We've made it 10 blocks. We have ourselves a poem, everybody. On the way to a poem, we have ourselves a poem. It's gonna be wonderful. This is The Music We Are by Rumi. How you doing? Did you hear that winter's over? The basil and the carnations cannot control their laughter. The nightingale, back from his wandering, has been made singing master over the birds. The trees reach out their congratulations. The soul goes dancing through the king's doorway. Anemones blush because they have seen the rose naked. Spring, the only fair judge, walks in the courtroom, and several December thieves steal away. Last year's miracles will soon be forgotten. The new creatures whirl in from non-existence. Galaxies scatter around their feet. Have you met them? Do you hear the bud of Jesus crooning in the cradle? A single narcissus flower has been appointed inspector of kingdoms. A feast is set. Listen, the wind is pouring wine. Love used to hide inside images. No more. The orchard hangs out its lanterns. The dead come stumbling by in shrouds. Nothing can stay bound or be imprisoned. You say, end this poem here and wait for what's next. I will. Poems are rough notations for the music we are. Now, what's your interpretation of that? That's absolutely wonderful. I mean, top tier deepness. Very, very much in depth. It really had me swirling around a different bunch of notions, you know, esoteric, otherwise theological aspects and whatnot. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. We have Spring by Christina Rossetti. Frost locked all winter, seeds and roots and stones of fruits. What shall make their sap ascend, that they may put forth shoots? Tips of tender green, leaf or blade or sheath, telling of the hidden life that breaks forth underneath. Life nursed in its grave by death. Blows the thaw wind pleasantly, drips the soaking rain by fits, looks down the waking sun. Young grass springs on the plain. Young leaves clothe early hedgerow trees. Seeds and roots and stones of fruits, swollen with sap, put forth their shoots. Curled-headed ferns sprout in the lane. Birds sing and pair again. They really know how to be creative around here. I love it. It's very good. This is actually quite a peaceful, wonderful neighborhood. The architecture, I mean, the architecture is just top tier. I mean, some of these houses are potentially centuries old, not century old, not centuries, I don't think, but I mean, oh, look at that. I don't know, I'm not gonna I'm not going to dare venture onto their lawn, but we do have another poem. Maybe I will. What we got here? Isabel J. Mansfield says, I'm going to tell them that this was a pro-life rally, and when they act surprised, I will tell them that his life mattered, that Black Lives Matter, and if that isn't pro-life, I don't think they understand the meaning of life. I'm going to tell them when they say, I've got black friends, that I don't understand how a friend can stay silent any longer. I shouldn't have to say, what if this was your friend? Like I shouldn't have to defend a rape victim with, she was someone's daughter. I'm going to tell them when they ask, why are you suddenly so outspoken about this, that I would hope someone I love would speak out for me. Wow. I'm telling you, it's top tier profoundness coming from all regions right now. Oh my goodness. It's just like quite an adventure walking down Franklin right now. What do we have here? What? My banjo is broken beyond repair. Oh well, guess I'll have to unpack my accordion. That's great. Alright. Mildly cheesy, but I absolutely love it. It was just the right, slapstick or, slap knee, whatever you want to call it. Just right. Hit the spot. I'm not sure if that's all we have right now, but I'm on my way still. Peace out. Alright, now I'm at the corner of West 65th and Franklin, on my way to West 65th and Lorain, the rapid station, and I found yet another one. Here we go. I opened a book by Julia Donaldson. I opened a book, and in I strode. Now nobody can find me. I've left my chair, my house, my road, my town, and my world behind me. I'm wearing the cloak, I've slipped on the ring, I've swallowed the magic potion, I've fought with a dragon, dined with a king, and dived in a bottomless ocean. I opened a book and made some friends. I shared their tears and laughter, and followed their road with its bumps and bends to the happily ever after. I finished my book, and out I came. The cloak can no longer hide me. My chair and my house are just the same, but I have a book inside me. That's so wonderful. I just love the actual systematic, in a good way, the rhyme scheme, and it really fit well with the theme. Very, very good. Oh my goodness, we have more? Is this more? No, what is this? The Little Free Library. Take a book, leave a book. Take a book and leave a book. This is not a free library. It is not a little free pantry. Take a book and leave a book. We have little nice little books here. Anything you guys like? Anything you guys notice that you like? Man, which one do I want? Which one am I looking for? That's all right. I'll leave it intact. That is quite all right. I appreciate it. All right, we're back on our way. Ooh, we've made it. RTA station on West 65th and Lorain. I'm heading down. See what we got here. Gotta watch my step. Yeah, I really love this poem. I just absolutely had to find it again because I couldn't find it online. Like I had mentioned previously, I looked everywhere. So let's see if I can find it. See if it's still here. Hey there, brother. All right. Going between the eastbound and westbound dock area. We're on the tracks right now. Well, we're on the little docking area, I guess. Yeah, we're passing it up. There we go. Walking the line all the way there. Gentlemen. All right, hey there, brother. How's it going, brother? How you doing? Oh, let's see what we got here. All right, we got this. Couldn't describe to you the scent. Could not describe to you whatsoever what the scent is right now, other than not good. Ooh-wee. Let's see what we got here. Almost nauseating scent. I would call it more of a smell than a scent. All right, here's the magic deal. What we got here, it's still there. It's still there. Yes. It's not I saw two birds, that's I watched two birds. David A. Cornicelli, everybody. A catalyst for progressive vision. His poem is I watched two birds. I watched two birds flying today out my window in my room that looks across the sky and treetops. Some say you could see 3 states on a clear morning in May. They glided side by side as if attached by a joining of arms and rocked back and forth with the current of air. My curtains often bellow like sails on a cool morning in May. I saw two birds begin to flap their wings in disharmony, and one flew to the sun that makes the trees look greener, and you have to squint to see on a bright morning in May. David A. Cornicelli. I love this poem. When I read this poem while I was homeless, it brought great solace to my heart. And it made me feel like I know this person. It was a very wonderful poem. It still is. I made it. Made it here. I used to hang out here when I was homeless and just lay my head down. When it was in the middle of winter, I'd go to St. Malachi. There was a place open at the rec center, which was Michael J. Zone, and I'd go there and lay my head down. I became deathly ill with the flu and got sent to the ER multiple times. Quite a few adventures, may I say. And then, of course, the final adventure, with which there was a man who was acting strange, and I went up to him and I said, you know, I just wanted to go to the rec center, by the way. I just said, you know, is everything okay? And I went to go introduce myself. He slapped the dap away from me. And then, you know, I said, do you have angels with you? And he said, yes. And whether it seems religious or not, I asked him, are they risen or are they fallen angels? And he said, some are not. And then I said, well, there's no way it could just be some are not. You know, they don't just flock together. And he said, okay, they're all fallen. So, ding, 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 red flag, way up in the air. Red flag. And by the way, he already slapped my dap away, so that's 1 strike. So I went to introduce myself, and I said, you know, my name is, and then I went to go give him a handshake. Before, you know, I give him the handshake, he completely 100% shoves me so far back that I almost fell over. He shoved me so far back. And I said, hey, what are you doing that for, man? Why'd you do that? And I was having a lot of bad time when it came to people messing with me at this specific rapid station right here, right where we're at. I'll show you where I was sitting, and I'll show you what happened, or I'll tell you what happened. Right here, right there. Right where I was just pointing the lens. A person came up to me, a woman. She said something really vulgar and mean, and she threw a Yoo-hoo bottle, it was a glass Yoo-hoo bottle, but it was really full, at the back of my head as hard as she could. I pretended like I was dead, and she ran away in fear. But quite a few times while I was homeless, you know, I feel for people who are in that situation, and I do what I can to assist when I can. But when I don't got it, I don't got it. When I got it, I can help. You know, and I didn't have it at that point. I did have a food card, and somebody was here and I helped them get food. I brought food to this station multiple times for people. When I was at the Michael J. Zone, I played basketball, I played chess with the kids. There was this one guy who would spin books, like 2 books on each of his index fingers like this. And I'm talking about, it was insanely impressive. His name was Robert. He was very young, like 17. I said, "You're the most impressive person," like very impressive person, if I may say. And there was many people I met along the way. There was this man named Levy who was teaching me the Bible a little bit, but one day, of course, he wanted to get physical, and I said, "Punch me in the face or hug it out, man, because I'm not about to just sit here, let you taunt me like this." So we hugged it out, and then we were cool. And then after we hugged it out, another time, an incident occurred where, he gets up in my face he had all 4 of his fingers and his thumb all had rings on them. And he was a pretty tall guy, decently built, and he was coming at me strong. He was just like, "If you ever say that again," which I said, "I'm not afraid of you," because there was people being really rude to me. And I was trying to tell them, "I'm not about to be bullied by you, I'm not afraid." And then he came up to me and stared me down right in my eyes. And I wasn't afraid, but my knees were somehow afraid. I was buckling at the knees, I'll admit it, but I wasn't afraid of him, my knees were. And yeah, there's that. But back to the story about the Rapid Center Rapid Station, that is. I said, "Why'd you do that, man?" And I said, "What, are you a demon or something?" And, I could have not followed him outside, but I felt a little unsafe. I'll have to admit it. And, I followed him out because I wanted to know why he just shoved me as far as possible. Any dude most 90% of dudes would have been on him. About 90. And then after he shoved me again, when I went to go address the situation and spit in my face, now I'm actually about to tackle him. So when I went to go tackle him, he slipped. When he slipped, he fell. It was in the middle of winter. There was a bunch of snow on the ground. I landed on top of him, about to tackle him, but I landed on top of him, put him in a submissive hold, and I said, "This is done. We're through. Submit." He did not submit. He took his hands from my grip, and he started punching me in the face. He punched me in the nose twice, bop, bop. Pretty good, too. It hurt. And so I retaliated with a couple fist bashes to his forehead. It did 0 damage. The guy was on either PCP, some kind of drug, and it did no damage whatsoever. And then you have, a bunch of other things happened and whatnot. And, he stuck his hand directly in my mouth, like, all the way down, like halfway down my throat, and I was gagging. And then he had his thumb underneath my chin with his hand down my throat, trying to choke me to death from the inside out. So, what do you do when somebody that you don't know has their foreign object, which is their hand/glove, in your mouth, and they were already pushing you and shoving you and spitting in your face, and you just want to defend yourself at that point because you really did just want to sleep at that rapid station and go to the rec center the next day, which was the gunning rec center, which was close to the, the rapid center of Purtis rapid station where I was at, and he shoved it in my mouth. What am I going to do? The victim report says that I punched him in the face for 15 minutes straight before biting his fingers. Yes, I bit his fingers. But yes, also, I bit his fingers because he had his hand down my throat trying to choke me to death. I bit his hand gently, kind of, to try to get him to pull out. He didn't pull his hand out of my mouth. He kept going further. I bit harder. He still kept going further. I bit until I heard a little noise. He took his hand out of my mouth. Then he punched me in the face more times. Then I said, "If you punch me in the face again, man," because my hand was getting frozen, numb. I couldn't really do much with it anymore. It was middle of winter, like I said. I couldn't do much with it. So I said, "If you hit me again, man," because I had him almost in a submissive hold. "If you hit me again one more time, I'm going to hit you with that phone behind you that you have." And it was laying behind him. And he punched me in the face 2 more times. I said, you asked for it, man. So I grabbed the phone and I bashed him on his head with his own phone like 6 or 7 times. And I said, "How'd that feel, man?" And it didn't hurt him either. He wasn't hurt, but he was bleeding. And when I noticed he was bleeding, I rolled up off of him and I said, "We're done here." And then I gave him his cell phone. Maybe some people said you shouldn't have given him a cell phone. You should have stolen his cell phone. I said, no, I'm not like that. I didn't want to hurt him in general and to begin with. I didn't even want to touch or talk to the guy to begin with. I felt unsafe, and that's why I talked to him. I had every intention to go to the rec center. I had no intention to be harmful to anybody or myself. I just wanted to go to the rec center. That's a Scout's honor. That's exactly what I wanted to do the next day after I woke up from being at the Puritas Rapid Station, was go to the rec center. Scout's honor. Like, seriously, Scout's honor. Like, I wanted to do that, and too much space. I had to clear some before I continued the story. Okay, so instead of essentially, me going to the rec center and, fight over and just go away from me and, we're done here. He takes his phone, calls the police. Police show up, and I swear, record timing. Like, literally, they couldn't have showed up faster. It was the RTA police. They showed up in 2 minutes. It couldn't have been more than 2 minutes. I already grabbed my things. I was all the way up the stairs. I was going to take the next train because honestly, I didn't want to be a part of that mess. And I even told the story to somebody, and they said, you're in the right. I saw the whole thing. You're in the right. They said it to me. I was in the right. This guy. And yeah, the police show up. They said, what happened? Dude's down there bleeding. I told them essentially the same thing, except for, I was a little disoriented because we just fought for like 8 minutes straight. They said, by the way, I punched him in the face for 15 minutes straight and then bit his fingers. That's not how the story went. That's not how the actual event occurred. And they, handcuffed me, said I got an F2 felonious assault, said that they have the videotape and that I was the aggressor. I said that's just not the case. I went to go write my victim statement. They shredded my victim statement. They ripped it up, and I never got it back. All the belongings I had a Bible, I had a Christian book, I had a flashlight that you can wind up at any time and it lights up, and then I had an American Red Cross blanket that I got at not the Westside Catholic Center, which that's another place I went to. It was the Michael J. Zone. I got the blanket, and then. What else did I have on me? I had all my identification, my social security card, my ID, my birth certificate. All of that was on me. And when I got out of jail, which was 7.5 months later, by the way, nothing. They didn't give me a single thing. I left that building with nothing. None of my possessions that I had while I was homeless did I ever get again. I was given that book by my mom. It was a nice 1964 big green custom-made Bible. And like I said, all the other stuff, gone. Just simply gone. I had a recorder flute as well, which the prosecution said was a knife. Just great, right? And then, of course, I had to do all these bullpen therapies, which is what you sit in a cell with a bunch of people who have other numbers. I only have one number ever. I've never had 2 numbers, 3 numbers, 4. I've only had one number. It was an F2 felonious assault. I was given an NGRI plea, which is not guilty by reason of insanity during the time of the act, which is, I did not know at the time, was an affirmative plea, which means that you agree to the victim statement and or facts, and you just go on with the NGRI and get sentenced accordingly. So my lawyer said, there's evidence of the event occurring, so, be prepared to defend yourself in court. I said, okay, I'm going to take it to trial. He said, well, I don't got the laptop on me, so, we can't look at the video right now. I said, okay, that's fine. I said, next time, bring it. Okay, I don't got my laptop on me the next time. Okay, why not? No good reason. Next time, I don't got my laptop on me. I said, okay, what'd you even see, by the way? Because you didn't even show me it. He said, I didn't see anything occurring. I didn't see the event occurring. There's no angle of it. I said, you had to have gotten some good angle. He said, no, there's no event occurring from what I've seen. I said, so the number one piece of evidence against me is unable to be viewed? He said, yeah, and if you try taking it to trial, you're going to lose. I said, what? I said, you're fired. Please, you're fired. And I attempted to fire him. By the way, he's currently still my lawyer because he refused to be fired. He refused to withdraw from my counsel. I did not know these legal terms previously. I didn't know almost any of my inalienable rights. I had no clue what, an affirmative plea meant, a bunch of these different legal mumbo jumbo statements. He said, the defense attests to the facts. That means that everything in the victim statement, which everything other than I walked into the rapid station from the victim, was a total, complete lie. I looked at the statements. I said, that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong. All of it's wrong. And then I didn't even get a chance to give a statement. And he didn't get any counts. He got wooed by the nurses at some place, some nice hospital where he got taken care of real nicely while I'm shipped to Cuyahoga County Jail, where they didn't give me water for the first 3 days, where they didn't give me a shower for the first week and a half when I requested water and a shower all the time. And then they treated me like absolute junk. I'm sure they treat everybody like that, but they specifically seemed to treat me like straight junk. I said, I'm not going to wear orange clothing, the orange jumpsuit, because I'm not a criminal and I didn't do nothing wrong. They said, we're gonna pepper spray you, or you can get in this chair right now, this restraining chair. I said, no, I'm not gonna wear them. And then they were about to pepper spray me. I said, fine, whatever, I'll get in this restraining chair. They put me in a restraining chair and put me in this room where they gassed me to sleep. And then, of course, the food was horrible. And 7.5 months, I got assaulted twice, and like I said, my lawyer wasn't there for me whatsoever, and he was a really terrible person, in my opinion, because, only somebody who's really terrible like that would completely jeopardize someone's sanctity to that extent with no proper representation. I felt grossly misrepresented to the highest extent of how you can misrepresent someone. And I can honestly say that the whole thing was against me. It felt like my judge was against me. It felt like the lawyer was against me. Obviously, the prosecution was against me. They made me sign away my trial by jury. I felt coerced into signing away my trial by jury. And they said, you're not being coerced, right? In court? No, Your Honor, I'm not being coerced, because you made it sound real nice when you said you're going to take the reams of this jury trial, or this trial, so that jury can't be involved. And then when you take the reams, you give me the maximum sentence of 8 years, which is the maximum sentence for an F2 felonious assault on the docket. And now I have to spend 8 years on the mental health docket, where the first year, after 7.5 months in Cuyahoga County Jail, I'm now in North Coast, which is a behavioral health care place, a mental ward essentially. And I spent 1 year and 2 months there. And then I've been in a group home ever since. Needless to say, it's been quite an experience. I know that does sound traumatic in all ways. I've gotten over it. I've tried to make my best to maintain positivity, stay afloat and make a better way for myself than where I was previously, and, stick to a better diet, be more fit as best as I can. And this is more recent, at least those specific things. The less recent things is 3 years of sobriety. I have not had a puff of a cigarette. I have not had a drop of alcohol. I have not had a puff of weed, THC weed that is. And then I haven't had any vapes, nicotine vapes. And I haven't had any illicit or illegal drugs in over 3 years. So yay to that. I have had CBD because it is legal, but for some reason I got a THC test result, and that doesn't sit well with me. But I stopped smoking THC or CBD, and I have not had any ever since. And I've also quit gambling ever since January. So I'm doing well in that aspect. No gambling, no drugs, no cigarettes, no smoking weed, no alcohol. And sticking to it. Now I just have to get the fitness right. I just got to get the diet right. And then there's a couple other things, some basic hygiene. Some people would say that it's easy to be like in good hygiene for them. Some people have it real easy because it's been instilled into them. It's been habitual for them to have great hygiene. I have not had that luxury and or privilege to be, have the habit, so I have to make a good hygiene habit. And so I'm working on all these things. I'm very thankful that I'm still here and that, where I've been and what I'm continuing to do, making music and whatnot. And I really appreciate you guys hearing me out and listening to this. I mean, it's like, 20 minutes of content. So I'm not sure if I'm going to put this in with the poems or it's going to be a whole separate video, but it is a good testimony. I mean, every word is as best as the truth as I can present it when it comes to that specific incident, what occurred after. And I can go ahead and tell you there's many, many details that have been, omitted that were horrific and highly, highly traumatic that I don't even want to discuss. I've gotten punched in the face at North Coast multiple times, going through the system. Oh, man, it's rough stuff, but I really appreciate you guys. I'm doing a lot better now, and I made my way to the Rabbit Station. I'm going to make my way home now. I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.